Hi everyone, my name is Haley and welcome back or welcome to my channel. For this week's video, I wanted to talk about something more serious and something that I think needs to be addressed and should be talked about, and that is the toxic reality of book social media, especially booktok and bookstagram. In light of recent events with Palestine, the situation is not recent, but with the most recent events starting in October, there has been really disappointing and damaging posts and actions on book social media, and I see tons of people talk about it on bookstagram and booktok and call out creators and stuff like that, but I wanted to personally make a video and break down why it is wrong, how it is damaging, and why you should hold these creators to a higher standard than maybe you have before. So this is going to be focusing on Palestine and their actions surrounding anything that it has to do with. I honestly don't go on my bookstagram a lot, and I barely go on booktok, but I have been on a lot more recently because I'm trying to post and spread awareness. So that is the information that I have to pull from. That is what this video is going to be focusing on. I have a few points that I'm going to get into in this video. So this all started because I kept seeing book creators promoting Zionist authors, or authors that were neutral, or authors that are pro-Israel, and I had let them know, but it didn't matter. They would still keep posting it, and it kind of just felt like no matter what me or my mutuals did to try and shed light on the situation and let these creators know like what is going on, it didn't matter. They either just ignored us or acted like they cared and then obviously didn't. The amount of things that I've seen as excuses and the amount of things I've seen that just like really rubbed me the wrong way and put a really bad taste in my mouth, I wanted to address them here and let you guys know what some of these creators are doing and how they are acting, and so you can put your energy and time into someone that might align with your beliefs a little bit more, rather than someone who only cares about aesthetics and trends and would choose that over literal human life. So let's get into the points that I want to talk about in this video. So the first thing that I had seen a lot on bookstagram and booktok was that they want politics off of the timeline. Bookstagram and booktok is a place for a reading community, and you only post about books and you don't talk about anything else, and politics have no place on book social media. And I feel like that is so stupid and honestly like so backwards, because reading is inherently political. A lot of books, if not all of them, are based off of real experience and real life that these authors have, even if the book is not nonfiction. We take what we know and it bleeds into our work even if we don't realize it, because writing is a creative outlet. It comes from emotions, and that is something that is tied to your work. That is something that comes out even if you are not trying to. So no matter what you're reading, you are going to learn about the world. You are going to learn about new experiences and be exposed to things that you might not have known beforehand, and it is going to change how you see the world, or at least give you some more ideas to think about. And a lot of science fiction and fantasy books have politics in them. You can't really write a book about an oppressed people or, you know, fighting against a certain person without politics having a role in it. A lot of these books are fighting against an oppressive government, or, you know, someone in power that is harming other people. Like, these are politics in play in these books that you read, but you want politics out of book social media when you're promoting things like Iron Flame and A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like, some of these creators I feel like don't listen to themselves talk, because it's just so hypocritical to me that they want politics off of the timeline when 3/4 of their bookshelves and posts are about science fiction and fantasy books that have political plot lines. Make it make sense. And books also teach the reader a lesson, even if it's not intentional. There is always something to be learned from a book, because more often than not there is a climax and a resolution. A resolution means something gets solved and you can learn what was wrong with the plot that needed to be solved, what went right, and if this were ever to happen to you, how you could navigate it, and you learn what not to do and what you should do from these books. Anytime you read a book, you are learning about someone else's experience experience. You are learning about something that you haven't gone through. Just because these books are fiction does not mean you're not learning real world things. And to claim that you want politics and political beliefs off of the timeline, then don't post about your stupid science fiction and fantasy books. Don't post about all of these books that teach you lessons about the world. Like, it just really makes no sense. The next thing I want to talk about is the promotion of Zionist authors. I can just name a few off the top of my head. Rebecca Yarros, Sarah J. Maas, Lynn Painter, Emily St. John Mandel. I've talked about her in my past videos before I knew this about her, so I'm not saying I've never done this before, but once I knew, I stopped. Pierce Brown, and there are so many more. Those are just the most popular ones that I can think of off the top of my head. I'll try to link the Twitter thread down below that shows proof of these authors being Zionists. This is what sparked the whole toxic environment that I was noticing on book social media. I had a mutual that had 20,000 followers on Instagram, okay? And I saw her post about Iron Flame. And so I messaged her and I said, I was nice. I said, hi, I don't know if you know, but Rebecca Yarros is a Zionist. I just wanted to let you know. And she said, thank you so much for letting me know, with a heart emoji. And I was like, okay, well, that's a good sign. At least she's not going to be promoting a Zionist author to 20,000 people. The next day, she's posting Iron Flame on her story and how she is so excited to read it and can't wait for it to come in. Like, I wish you would have just told me you don't care instead of acting like you did. Because now I seem like an idiot thinking that you were on the right side and I was, you know, finding solidarity in my mutuals, but you honestly couldn't give less of a shit about me or anyone else. Like, and I've also DM'd people where they have just straight out ignored me or blocked me, and it's honestly crazy that, like, you're promoting a book about fighting an oppressive government, and then when someone tells you that the author is on the side of the oppressive government in real life, you just don't care, but you're cheering for Violet and the violence that she is inflicting against the oppressors. Like, do you not see how stupid you sound? The cognitive dissonance is actually insane. It's so baffling to me. It's the same thing with Pierce Brown. His whole book series of Red Rising is about people on Mars being colonized or whatever, and he's sitting there siding with Israel and you guys are defending him. Where do you think he's getting his inspiration from? All of these authors that write about oppression in fantasy books and are making money from Israel don't actually care about what they're writing about. All they care about is money and a check. And if you were on the other side, if you were being slaughtered and oppressed, they wouldn't care about you either. Why do you care about them so much? Like, a book is never more important than a human life, but that's what these big creators are doing. So many people with tens of thousands of followers on Bookstagram have only been posting Iron Flame, continue to post Sarah J. Maas, when me and many others have told them how harmful it is, but they still don't care. People on social media only care about aesthetics and trends, how many likes they can get, how many comments and followers they can get if they hop on a trend and promote the newest book that's coming out. Like, I would never sell myself out like that. I would never be that much of a coward and a sellout where I would promote a book because I'm afraid of losing out on likes because the author is a fucking shitty person. I would never do that. And to see more than half of my timeline doing that, it was so, like, I don't even know how to explain it, because readers like to claim that they are smart, that they know a lot, and that reading expands their knowledge, but they haven't learned anything. We are posting on our stories about what's going on in Palestine. I have come to you as a Palestinian person telling you these things, and you're ignoring me, you're watching my stories, but you're still posting Zionist authors. And it happens in private, so these people that follow them don't know, because it's between me and them. It's on my direct messages that they're ignoring. I mean, I have posted on my stories, like, about the situations, but I haven't really name dropped. It is just so infuriating and disgusting seeing creators ignore us. Okay, another thing that I see as an argument against why they shouldn't have to talk about what's going on in Palestine and why they can support and promote whoever they want is that they can separate the art from the artist. And even saying that out loud, I, like, feel gross and disgusting, but writing, as I said before, is tied to a person's emotions and tied to their personal beliefs. How can you separate the art from the artist when the art is the artist reflected in the writing? You cannot do that. And if you have to justify promoting someone that supports genocide by separating the art from the artist, don't you think that's the first red flag that you even have to do that? If you knew that this author was a good person, you wouldn't be arguing separating the art from the artist. It's a redundant argument anyway because you literally can't do that. But if that's what you choose to do, you have to realize that you're saying that because they are doing fucked up things and you can't defend it, so you're just separating it. Because if you only see the art as disconnected from the artist, you don't need to sit there and defend an author who supports genocide. I'm getting riled up. Another thing that really riled me up and spurred me to make this video was a TikTok I saw of this girl who is not Palestinian saying, you can read whatever you want, you can support whoever you want, don't listen to everyone who's saying not to read Iron Flame, they need to go touch grass, you can choose to read and like who you want. What? Like, I commented on her video saying how it was damaging as, like, you are not Palestinian speaking over Palestinian voices who are asking you to boycott anything that is supporting Israel and any authors that are supporting Israel. We are asking you to do that. And for you to go and make a video and say, oh, don't listen to them, you can do whatever you want. Like, we are not the ones that you should be listening to. And so I told her that, and she said, this is my page, and blocked me. And I'm like, no shit, it's your page, but if it's public, I can say whatever I want. And I'm never rude. I'm always just trying to educate these people, especially because I want their audience to see my comments, but I've been blocked. I can't say anything. And it's like, why are you going to the lengths of blocking me if you think you're right? If you think that what you're saying is okay and you can stand by it and defend it, why are you blocking me? You're only blocking me because you're scared of what I'm gonna say, you're scared of being called out, and you're scared that your audience is gonna see that you're just wrong and ignorant. And that goes for the same, like, on Instagram. If you're blocking me, it's because you know I'm right and you can't handle it. It's not okay to speak over Palestinian people that are asking you to do these things. It is not okay for you to go on your Instagram and your TikTok with thousands of followers and tell the people that watch your videos because they like your content, because they look up to you, because you inspire them, it's not okay to tell them to ignore what we're saying. The privilege that you have of turning your phone off and not caring about what's going on in the world and not having any familial or emotional ties to it, that is a privilege. And to not recognize that and continue posting harmful and damaging posts, just like open your eyes and be a decent person. And another thing that I've seen on social media is people saying, why are you holding these influencers up to a standard? Like, they don't owe you anything, they're just regular people, you should keep that energy for your politicians. We're calling and emailing our politicians every single day. They haven't called for a ceasefire, so the next best thing that you can do is also tell people with a big audience to bring awareness to it. You don't have to be an expert, you don't need to know all of the history, but you should be able to understand that genocide is wrong and genocide is bad without me spoon feeding it to you. You can have your own opinion on if you think influencers should speak about this or not, but as someone who claims that they are a reader and they learn and they like reading for the knowledge it brings them, to stay silent on this, I just can't accept that. And I think that even if you just say genocide is bad, that's enough. People will listen to you. You have a platform and people will listen to you. But if you're silent, then what example are you giving them? It says a lot about someone when they can talk about and stand up for the things that they believe in, but it says so much more about someone who can't do that and will stay silent. I think influencers should be speaking about this, especially in the book space. And okay, let's say that you don't want to, whatever, I don't agree with that, but whatever, you don't want to, but to go promote these authors and these books after not saying anything about it, like, what kind of privilege, like, what audacity do you have to do that? What compelled you to do something like that? Like, it is so insane to me that these people are silent, but people are still telling them what's going on and they still go and post about it. It's just baffling to me. It's so toxic that they will ignore a marginalized group of people. They will ignore people that are begging for help and still promote what they are telling them not to do. Like, do you not see how insane that is? Do you not see how disrespectful and damaging that is? Some of these creators need a reality check. Like, I do not understand. And it all circles back to what I was saying before, likes and comments and follows. Like, I love making friends online. I love talking to people online, but I would never not stand up for this because I was scared to lose someone online. Even in real life, if I lose a friend over this, then they didn't actually care about me and I don't want them to be my friend anyway. To put numbers and money and fame above real people is so disgusting and so immoral. Like, you have no moral compass. You have nothing that you stand for. Social media is not going to be around forever, and what are you going to do when that happens? I don't want to hold these influencers' hands and these creators' hands and beg them to post about it and beg them to talk about it and beg them to not promote Zionist authors, but that is what it has come down to. You might not agree that everyone needs to talk about it, but my main issue is still promoting Zionist authors and telling people to separate the art from the artist. Like, if you don't want to talk about it, fine, whatever, but to do that, absolutely not. And then this leads into book creators playing the victim when people are in their comments telling them not to promote these books. Oh, I'm gonna just take a mental health day because I can't handle the criticism. You're not the victim. This is not about you. Why are people so self-centered that they're trying to put the spotlight of a real world issue on themselves because they don't want to talk about it? If I'm calling you out for this, and not even in a mean way, if someone else is calling you out for this, you're not a victim, okay? You're doing something wrong, you're doing something damaging, and people are letting you know. No one feels bad that you can't promote Iron Flame or A Court of Thorns and Roses on your Instagram. There are people dying, and I'm sitting here trying to explain to you guys how toxic bookstagram and booktok is, and how you really shouldn't be supporting some of these big creators. I hate that I even have to come on here and like ask these influencers to listen, but I just want to show you guys, like, just because someone has a lot of followers doesn't mean that they are decent people, I guess. Not posting is one thing, but blatantly ignoring and blocking is a whole other thing, and honestly pretty disgusting. And another thing I wanted to bring up is I feel like book creators only post for certain activism when it benefits them. I think what happens with these bookstagrammers and booktalkers is if the injustice is not happening in America, they don't care and they post so people don't call them out. But most of their audience is not Palestinian, is not, you know, gonna call them out for not posting about it because it's not in America. Like, it is such a self-centered Western point of view to only care about things that are happening in your own country. Just be careful with some of these creators that have been silent during this time who are gonna be posting maybe for other things in the future. Maybe they will have learned, maybe they will have been educated, or maybe they're just scared of being called out and are practicing performative activism and don't actually give a shit, because that is all I've been seeing on my timeline before I unfollowed and removed followers. Performative activism is very real and running rampant, so just be careful with who you support and make sure that they are in line with your own beliefs. And another thing that just, like, oh my god, I don't even have words for how backwards and how stupid it is, but again, book creators posting books like Fourth Wing or other fantasy books that are literally about characters fighting oppression, and they cheer on the main character but can't even understand when it's happening in real life. Like, if you are going to be promoting a book, not even by a Zionist author, if you're going to be promoting a book by someone who writes about oppression and the main character is fighting oppression in any capacity, and you promote that book and you talk about it because you love it so much and you can't even recognize when it's going on in real life, that is so messed up. That is, like, you need a reality check. The world is not a fantasy book. How can you care more about fake characters than real people? That's baffling to me. Like, I just don't understand it. And that is how so many of these creators that I've seen think. Like, they will love and eat up any sci-fi fantasy book that is, you know, fighting against someone, but it happens in real life and they just couldn't be bothered. Like, I'm so sorry this is so inconvenient for you and you can't be bothered to look at it, but I think that's all I have to say. I just really wanted to come on here and tell you guys that book influencers, even if they have a lot of followers or no followers, it doesn't matter. This is how people act. They don't care about anyone but themselves. They only care about money, likes, and followers. They will promote Zionist authors and pro-Israel authors because it is what's trending. They won't post about something because it ruins their aesthetic. Their whole life is online and they can't fathom that real things are happening outside of the internet. And it's honestly so so triggering and damaging to me and many others who are Palestinian and are telling them these things, and we're getting ignored and we're getting blocked. Like, the world has tried to silence us for 75 fucking years, and these creators are doing the same thing when they have been in my DMs before telling me that they are so happy that we're friends, and we've had conversations, but you're not happy that we're friends. You're just happy that you have another person on your following list, and I'm not going to be part of that anymore. If you've been silent, I'm unfollowing you. If you've posted after I've told you, I'm unfollowing you. If you've ignored me, I'm unfollowing you. Like, I cannot be bothered or care about what I seem like to these people anymore, because they don't give a shit about me or anyone else. This is not about me. This is about Palestine. I'm just saying, as someone who has ties there, it's just crazy. It's crazy. So maybe you don't care about influencers and creators and if they should speak up about something. That is your own opinion, but if you do care, this is what I'm trying to tell you, that they're not people that you should be looking to in this instance, and it can show you what kind of people they are and what they're gonna do in the future. There are so many pro-Palestine book Instagrams out there. I'm really trying to curate a community over there that is not supporting or promoting these books and these authors, or ignoring us, and don't support people that won't support you. I just really want to make that clear. I don't know how many of you are on other book socials or just watching booktube because it's a fun pastime and it's a hobby that you have, but just please be mindful of who you're giving your time and energy to. That's all I have for this video. If you would like to talk about this anymore with me, you can DM me on Instagram. If you'd like me to talk about this more, let me know in the comments. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, all of that stuff, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!